It's a new day and you already know what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Relax, sit back in your chair and grab yourselves your favorite hot drink because today's gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna be giving you guys my best updated estimate for when Chapter 3 will get released. And obviously since my last video covering the topic, loads has happened and we've had a little bit of an insight into how development is going for the new update. And in today's video, I'll be discussing two different possible release dates for Chapter 3. The first one will be a completely realistic estimate using clues we've received in the past few weeks and past update dates, whereas the second one will be the worst case scenario possible where the earth blows up. But no, seriously, things always go wrong, and this is how I'll predict the worst case scenario, which would ultimately mean the release date for Chapter 3 being delayed weeks or possibly even months. Anyways, as is custom around here, we'll start with the realistic estimate as it's a lot more positive and I bet it's what you guys want to hear. So we need to counter in a bunch of things before predicting the release date, and the first thing is using the history of large Raft updates and finding an average for how long it takes between them. The first big update added to Raft was obviously the Chapter 1 update, also known as Update 10. It was released on December the 3rd, 2019 and was followed up by numerous bug fixes. However, it wasn't until February the 14th of 2020 until another new update was released. This is about 2.5 months gap between Update 10 and Update 11, which was obviously the Beehive update, so it didn't bring massive changes, but most definitely some notable ones like the new Beehive and Bee Swarms, which now naturally spawn on Balboa Island and the Evergreen biome. And later that year, the next update, which was Chapter 2, was released on October the 8th, 2020 as the 12th update to Raft. This is just slightly less than 10 months after the initial Chapter 1 update and roughly 8 months after the Beehive update. So if we're taking that figure of roughly 1 year between chapter updates going forward, then that could be very good news for all of us. As I just mentioned, the previous update, Chapter 2, was released on the 8th of October 2020. So do you know what's coming? The 1 year anniversary for that date is coming up in literally like 2 weeks. So this could be big news. Well, perhaps yes, but there are some extra things to consider and I'm going to go over some of those factors right now. First off, the pandemic. I try not to discuss this on my videos because it's so avoidable and YouTube doesn't like it, but it's caused massive delays in the gaming industry and has seen huge games like Hytale, GTA, and many more being delayed months or in Hytale's case, even years. Furthermore, Raft is being developed in Red Beach Studios, which is based in Skövde, Sweden. Now this could be very important information to us as the C-word figures in Sweden could indicate to us as to how many delays or issues may have arisen during development. Although Sweden haven't been the most effective at combating the pandemic, they also haven't been the worst. They have about 1/7 of the infection figures that the United Kingdom have, for example, so they are doing alright. However, their vaccination figures aren't that high, as only roughly 64% of the country are double vaccinated, making it quite likely that people will still be calling off work much more than usual, causing Red Beat to be short on staff every now and again. Obviously, I believe the pandemic would only have delayed their development a month maximum. And who knows, it may have even provided them much more time to work on the update and to perfect it, so there could be an upside to this as well. Also, let's talk about the stage of development that I believe Chapter 3 may be in. Raft developers recently had roughly a month break from development during June and July following the renovation update. However, it's widely assumed that much of Chapter 3 was already completed before the renovation update, as we all know they stated that the content in the renovation update was initially planned to be part of Chapter 3, however they later decided to split it up into 2 different updates. Developers later returned from their holidays and instantly dropped teasers for Chapter 3, the first of which being a very clear image of Varuna Point. As we know from the notebook in the game, after you complete Tangaroa, it clearly indicates that the next location is Varuna Point, so that is the first location we'll be visiting in Chapter 3. So the fact that it's all done doesn't give us much of an indication of them being done with the entire update. However, the teasers which followed shortly after may have done exactly that. We were later shown crazy images from within one of the new locations, and although it most definitely was not Varuna Point, it has led some, including me, to believe that it's part of the new location which is to be explored by us later on in Chapter 3. Could it perhaps be even the end game? And let's say it hypothetically was the end game, then surely that'd mean the physical level design work for Chapter 3 would be largely finished. Well, yes, I suppose that's correct, unless that's not the final island. Then of course it's up to speculation. However, we were shown one more teaser and it was of some sort of factory. Now, as I've I've stated in a couple of my previous videos, which you can check out in the top right hand corner of your screen right now, I believe this location is also where the third teaser was created. However, in the rare case that it isn't, then this could mean that 3 different islands are completed and built, and as we know, chapter updates for Raft tend to have 2 or 3 islands. But we cannot take this as a guarantee for this update, as the developers have said numerous times that they want this update to be the biggest one yet. So this could see us getting 3 or maybe even 4 new story islands for us to raid and explore. And if this were to be the case, then we would need to account for more time in order for them to implement these locations. Well, generally yes, but we don't know if the development team has increased in size since last year, and their software and tools may also have improved, or simply their production value as a team may have increased. So what does this all mean? Well, if we're going off this average of a 1-year gap between chapter updates, then yes, we'd be receiving chapter 3 at some point next month in October, and that's definitely what I'm hoping for. I want you guys to post your predictions in the comments right now as for what day in October we may get our hands on an announcement of some kind. As for my prediction, well, I think the 8th of October sounds very good, as it's the exact 1-year anniversary from when chapter 2 was released to the public. Now the positive affirmations are all out of the way, it's time to be a little more pessimistic and discuss a date which may not sound as attractive on the face of it, but perhaps may occur if worst comes to worst. November. Yes, November of this year, that's it. I'm sorry, but I just don't see this update for chapter 3 being pushed back any further than late November at the worst, as Raft always like to have time spare for Christmas, as it's a big time for community events and small in-game updates. These small in-game updates may be like the small little Christmas hat they added last time, or snow, who knows, but it's always nice for the community to be able to get into the festive spirit. I do believe there will be a big gap between the update and the new year, and this should be at least a month minimum. In a perfect world, we'd be playing chapter 3 already, instead of having to wait an entire year for an update which will probably complete within a week or possibly even days. But we all know Red Beat's development team isn't the largest, and we're therefore obviously grateful either way, as we're all very much aware of how worth it their updates are. I mean, have they really ever let us down? I didn't think so, and I'm sure chapter 3 will do the exact same and impress us all. And there we have it, guys. I thoroughly believe October will be our month, and you already know, guys, I'll be streaming it on my YouTube channel right here on the release day, as well as exploring it during my weekly Monday evening streams, which actually start in 3 days on the 27th of September. Be there. It's roughly 2 PM GMT. Just check my channel and have my notification bell on so you make sure to never miss out. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here. I truly hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.